Welcome to another session from the Leadership Success Series by Manage the Docs. I'm Sunita and I work as an information developer at Hewlett Packard Enterprise. And I'm also a volunteer for Manage the Docs. So, Manage the Docs, as most of you know, is a community specific for department heads, managers, and leaders who have direct or lateral responsibility of managing technical communication projects for their organization. So, we have some exciting news this year. MTD, in partnership with STC India chapter, is hosting a conference exclusively for the leaders of the technical writing community. So the conference is on November 15th at Chancery Pavilion in Bangalore. So do register if not already registered, and I'm just going to paste the registration link here. So that's the link. And yes, without much delay, we'll move on to the session now. So today's session will be by Ms. Mrudula Menon on the topic Role of UX in Tech Docs to Enhance Customer Experience. Before that, a bit about Mrudula. She is the Senior Manager of Information Development at Grey Orange, heading the TechComs team that engages with SaaS applications, AI, robotics, SCM, warehouse management systems, and hardware. She not only built a team of proficient writers, but also built the doc portal for Grey Orange, scaling the technical information distribution by 4 times. She also innovated the way information is distributed to her customers through customized portals. Mrudula implements agile project management principles and techniques. She applied AI to her artifacts, resulting in state of the art product videos that facilitated the sharing of product knowledge with their customers. So, design thinking skills and some consulting experience helped her perform gap analysis and come up with innovative solutions to improve the DDLC processes. Building rapport with stakeholders while holding fort for a team and keeping the team spirits high has seen tremendous success in all global projects handled by our teams. Very inspiring profile, Mrudula. Thanks for volunteering to provide a session today, and over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Sunita has already given me a very beautiful introduction. And apart from that, I would like to share that I was heading art school between 2010 and 2015. And that particular journey had given me a lot of insights into entrepreneurship, into building confidence, and to see things from the product perspective. And that is what helped me understand and realize that even our documentation needs to have the status of a product. And I remember attending Sriparna's session on this particular topic. So moving ahead, I would like to share today's agenda. It is going to be a session that is 60 minutes long, in which 50 minutes are reserved for discussing various topics related to UX and how UX can be implemented in our documentation, and how this particular collaboration can largely contribute to the customer experience, as Sunita already mentioned. And 10 minutes in the end is reserved for your question and answers. Please feel free to ask as many questions as you want during that time. I would be happy to answer. So the objective of this session is not to make you a UX designer expert. So I just wanted to give that disclaimer upfront. The intention of this session is to make you aware about the basics of UX and how you can use that in your documentation layout so that it makes a difference to the users who are using it, right? And also there is this very product related term called customer delight. So when a user is looking at your documentation, how much they are being inspired to go through the documentation and make use of it. So that is what will bring around the customer delight. And also we would like to discuss about the key differences between CX and UX. So before I get started, just to see your awareness around these terms, CX and UX, there's a small quiz. So how many of you think UX and CX are unrelated concepts? So those of you think they're unrelated can raise your hand through the chat. Okay, I don't see any. That's good. So you already know the answer to the second question, that is UX and CX are related concepts. And the third question is, do you think design thinking is applicable only for products, be it software products, hardware products? How many of you think that design thinking is applicable only for software, hardware, or any product that you can hold? So any thoughts on that?
It can be applied for processes, I guess, process improvement, design thinking.
Okay.
Hey, Mridula, Aman here. I
Hi.
think design thinking is actually a part of the whole product development, which also includes documentation or any other component tied to it.
That's right. That's right. That's right, Aman. So design thinking is a thought process that you can see in everything around you. Anything that is created by humans need design thinking, right? So it is not only restricted to software, hardware, or anything. Even a pencil has design thinking in it, because of which you would have seen pencil evolve from a normal wood structure to a metallic structure now. Right? So design thinking is applicable to anything that is created by humans. So moving ahead, let us get into the main discussion part. So this is how the information development, UX and CX are related. So CX is the larger picture and UX is a part of CX that contributes to the CX, and information development is also a part of UX. So let us just understand that how these three are connected. So when we are talking about information development, it is not only about the documents, about the PDFs, it also entails, especially now, it entails the videos that we are creating, the GIFs we are creating. So it entails interaction design, visual design, and also motion design. So why interaction design? In how the customer or the user is interacting with your portal, with your doc portal, right? That brings about how good they are feeling about your documentation as a whole. Yes, accuracy is at the most important aspect of a document, but also when we are talking about very non-technical users, for them how you are presenting your documentation matters a lot. And all these things are very much connected to the content strategy and the information architecture, which is a fundamental, both are the fundamental concept of UX, that is the user experience. And when these things are in place, they contribute largely to the customer experience. And customer experience also entails digital products and how the office or store is designed, the brand strategy, marketing strategy. There are so many other things in CX. But you have to understand the documentation that you're doing is somewhere contributing to the overall customer experience. Now you might think, but Mridula, we call user and customer interchangeably, but that is not correct, because I'll just give you an example. So at Grey Orange, H&M is a customer, right? That organization has purchased our product and implemented our solutions in their warehouse. Now, on the warehouse floor, there will be supervisors, there will be warehouse operators. So these people are the actual users of the software that we are giving, or of the bots we are supplying, right? So that is the difference between UX and CX. So when the actual users, that is these non-technical, completely non-technical warehouse operators, right, when they are using our products, what kind of delight are they getting, what type of utility they are being able to bank upon, that will contribute to how much H&M sees value in purchasing our products, right? So it is not only about how much throughput, how much income they are making. It is also about these people, their employees who are using our products, how much they are feeling comfortable in using our product. Is our product extremely complex for them to use? Then they will not, renew their annual subscription with us, right? So you have to understand your role as a technical writer, how you are contributing to the overall success of your organization. And with this realization, you will bring in more enthusiasm into your work, right? So it is always good to know the larger picture where you are in that. Now let us understand a little deeper into, we will focus only on UX design as in the perspective of technical documentation. So increasingly we are seeing that technical communicators are transitioning from pure documentation creator, that we are not only restricted to text anymore. We are slowly going into becoming experienced designers. We are doing proper user studies. We are understanding the user personas, their usage behaviors, how they are going to use the product. We take into account so many things now. It is not only about some notes coming in from the SMEs and we are just, making it grammatically correct and putting into our document. It is no longer like that. We are transitioning increasingly into experienced designer, focusing on user-centered, context-aware content. Like when we are trying to write a documentation, it has to bring some value to the readers, right? That is context-aware content. So one of the most critical document that I am seeing increasingly is release notes. So if you remember, till a few years back, Slack was very much in news for their very wacky style of release notes, right? While everyone appreciated that, but then if you look at the release note language and tone right now with respect to Slack, you will see that they have toned it down a little bit. So they're still friendly, but it is not of the same type. Why do you think that would have happened? Now, the element of humor is very tricky in technical documentation. The moment it gets translated from English to another language, maybe as per the culture of that country, it is no longer funny, right? So humor is very tricky. So if the release notes is not written in the right format, in the right tone, then what are we doing? We are not giving a good user experience, right? Similarly, use of videos, use of infographic. So gone are the days when people are happy with seeing lot of numbers on their screen. Now they want to see what information is that number giving them, right? And that information is now presented in beautiful graphics. And there are so many tools to do that. Now I have to come to one of my most favorite part, and that is use of GAP. So if any of you have attended Nibu Thomas's session, you would have understood the role Whatfix plays in driving user experience, right? So we will talk about this in a little detailed mode. So when we are talking about the digital adoption platform like Workfix, WalkMe, Pendo, right? So these are not only meant for the new users, they are also meant for the experienced users. And it makes the product more friendly to them, right? Because it is not only about giving the steps to do things, but it also gives a very deep insight with the help of data, that how the user is using your application. That role is one of the most critical roles played by the DAP tools. And this particular data helps the product managers make the software more user friendly. And then there is a very big focus on microcopy of late for UI, and you would already know that gone are the days where UX designers were doing that. Now you have proper UX writers, and organizations that cannot afford UX writers, who do you think is doing the microcopy or the UX writing? It is the technical writers, right? Now, what is microcopy? It is a fancy term that is used to depict all the text that is there on your screen, right? So when you are filling up a field, say a form, an online digital form you're filling up. So in the field, you get to see some text in gray that disappears the moment you type. What does that gray text do? It gives you a small instruction that how and what you need to fill in, right? So that is the power of microcopy. I think her name is Kinrith. Her book is there on microcopy, which is considered as one of the best books on microcopy. I will really encourage you to at least read it online or offline. Okay. Now, anything is, anything is not, let me put it this way. So anything you say will not be considered as meaningful when you are talking to the senior leadership if you do not back up what you are saying with data. So when you are trying to analyze how much your documentation is improving or not improving, by including the UX aspects into your documentation, you cannot just go to your senior leadership and say that, we implemented these changes in our documentation and now it is looking really good and many people are coming. It means nothing to the senior leadership. In contrast, if you say that we have implemented these changes in our documentation and that has reduced the churn by this much percent and has increased the traffic by this much percent, now that makes sense to the senior leadership. So it is very important to measure your effort, right? If we are not measuring the effort, if we are not collecting the data, then the value of that effort is not going to get recognized in a way you want it to. Still, it might get recognized, but not in a way you would want it to get recognized. So these are a couple of things. These are a couple of methods that I am going to discuss here. And it may or may not be applicable in your scenario, but you can come up with your own metrics as well. So the first is task completion rate. Now, task completion rate is when the user comes to the document and is reading through your document, is the user being able to complete all the tasks that you have added in your document? So that is the task completion rate. What is the time to resolution? On reading your document or whatever you have put into your tech docs, is it simple to comprehend and the user is being able to solve the issue that they were facing, the reason why they came to your document in the first place? Are they able to resolve it? that is the time to resolution as to whether it is too complex for them to follow, or they were able to follow it very easily. So that is the time to resolution. And the last but not the least is the user effort score. So how much effort the user had to make to find that information. Was it very difficult? Was it hidden behind layers and layers of menu? So that is the user effort score. So these are some of the many methods that one can use to measure the effectiveness of UX in technical documentation, that can largely measure up the overall customer experience that is being experienced. So, there is a quick demo here, and I will try to just show the release notes effort that we have made at Grey Orange, and I hope you will like it. Let me just quickly log in. 1 minute. I just lost my screen. Sorry. Yeah. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah,
Yes.
sorry about that confusion. So this is the home page that we have designed, which allows an employee to have their individual login and a customer. When I say customer, these are different organizations. So we have about 50 different organizations. Right now, we have implemented it for 20 different organizations. So they can use the customer login, and here, as you see that there are two different organizations here, I'll just try to log in as the Apotec user. Now please notice how it just took a few seconds and it redirected itself to a portal that is exclusively designed for Apotec. So that's why you see Apotec here. Now, when an Apotec user is logging into this particular portal, they will not be able to see the portal designed for H&M or Pharmacia for that matter. So this particular portal is customized for Apotec, and there is a logo that we have added here. And if they become our paid subscriber, we completely design the color scheme and everything as per their brand color. So we completely brand this portal for the customer who is a paid subscriber. And this is the release notes that we have. I will just quickly show you the legacy release note, which was not up to the mark, and how we improved it. So I'll just go to the very first release notes. So this is how we presented our release notes in the beginning. And this is how we have gradually implemented various methodologies of UX. And this is how we have changed it. So here now, there was a thought process that not everyone in a particular organization would need to see all the release notes. And therefore, we included this collapsible feature so that they can see what they want to see. And you can see that there is this very nice way of arranging the things, and we grouped them so that there is a customer delight as well. So this is something that I wanted to show the main difference, how we achieved by implementing good UX principles. Okay, coming back to my screen, let me just stop sharing because my main link I can't see right now. I need to relaunch my presentation. Please give me a minute. Are you being able to see my screen? I think I'm not sharing, sorry. Are you being able to see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Sorry for the confusion in between because I swapped. That's why it happened. Okay. So so that is how we implemented some principles of UX into our documentation to give a better experience to the user so that they can understand what we are giving them in a better manner. Now, moving ahead, let us talk about information architecture in technical documentation, which most of you would already know, right? But you also need to understand, those who are not familiar with UX, that information architecture, because of the word information, many writers feel it is only related to technical documentation. But let me tell you that information architecture is one of the fundamental tools of UX design, because without a proper understanding of information architecture, they cannot design websites, because they need to understand the flow of information, the user behavior, and so many other aspects come into picture. So all these terms, that we think is only specific to technical writing, is also common to UX. So unknowingly, that is why I wanted to, do this session, so that you realize that yes, you are a technical writer, but also you're contributing to the UX in some form. So in information architecture, we use a term called wireframing. So what is wireframing? Wireframing is a very initial draft structure as to how your website needs to look like. So when I say website, and I consider tech documentation also, the portal is also website, right? So it is important how your documentation is appearing on the website, whether you want to have a menu on the side or on the top, or you want to have keywords at the bottom, you want to design your entire documentation layout in a specific way. So I prefer, I being an artist, my favorite tool is paper and pen. Just sit with a paper and pen and just design it, and then see how we can implement it. But those who are more tech savvy can use Figma, and you will be surprised to know that even Zoom has tools for discussion, collaborative discussion on information architecture. Now, the simple techniques include card sorting. I'm not going to go deeper into these techniques, but these terms are good to know so that you can use ChatGPT or Google and understand them better. So there is card sorting that helps you categorize. So there will be so many topics, right? How do you know which topic needs to go into the menu? Because you will see it is easier said than done. There will be topics where the topic looks appropriate for two different types of menu. So how will you understand that which one is appropriate? So you have to study the user behavior, and that's where card sorting comes into picture. So it becomes very easy to categorize, and it is a group exercise. Usually it is done with the end users, but even if you have a team of 5-6 people, you can sit around, or you can use Zoom tools to do the card sorting exercise, so that you understand that when a person looks at a particular topic, by by default, where do they think they will go to search? Where will they put it? Which category they will put it? So understanding this is very good for designing our menu. And then there is tree testing. Now, what is tree testing? So you make a menu on the side, and you just give some random topics, and then you study the user behavior, that where they are actually going in the menu on the side to search for this topic. And that's when you know if you have put the topic in the right place or not. Again, it cannot be done one-on-one. It has to be a group activity. And last but not the least, I don't have anything to explain here, the TOC. So how you are chunking your information, grouping your information under proper headings and subheadings, that also plays a big role in the overall information architecture. I'm not going into content reuse and all that. I'm doing this purely from UX standpoint, right? Now, let us talk about, or try to understand, a few things about white space. So again, I would have to do that entire thing because I want to demo something, because it is becoming too much of theory. So in between, if I demo, you will have a little bit of interest. So I want to demo this one, that the importance of white space in technical documentation, how it drives the user experience, how it makes your document easily readable. I'm not talking about comprehensibility. I'm just talking about readable. At times we look at a very long post and we feel, oh my God, that is too much of text. I don't want to read it, right? So how we can eliminate that kind of user behavior. So I would again need to do all those things because I really want to show you this. So I'm going to remove this and go to this. So this is a random research paper that I have found on the internet. Okay, I will just scroll through it quickly and you can see the amount of text in there. While for a technical person who is doing PhD, who is doing research, this is just normal. But imagine a warehouse operator looking at this document. They will almost faint. Where they will just say, I can't read. I don't know so much of English. I'm not going to read this. So how will we cater to something that is, very complex in a very simple way to somebody who's not technical? So as compared to this, I want to show this website by Copado. Copado again uses ClickHelp like us. We also use ClickHelp, and they have this beautiful way of, chunking information and putting it in beautiful layout. And you will see that how nicely they have made use of font. Font is a very important part of UX. You will be surprised to know the role font plays in WCAG, which is the accessibility. So font is very important. So the way they have, used the font for the heading and subheading, their brand colors, and how they have used the screenshot with rounded edges. It's so pleasing to the eyes that although this is a very, very complex tool, Copado is a very complex tool, but the way they have presented the information in their website, it is so beautiful, and it's so pleasing to the eyes that I would want to read it, right? So this is the importance of white space in our documentation. So it is like we ignore white space, but yes, I hope after this session, you would be more aware of how to make use of white space in the right manner. Please understand that using white space doesn't mean that after the heading you're going to, keep on putting lot of line breaks. No, it is about being very conscious about how you're going to use your white space and how to use it in a technically perfect manner. Okay, so I need to go back to this. So now I'm just using the normal mode, not the presenter mode. So yes, Nibu, I saw your question. I'll answer that. Okay, now the next interesting fact about UX is the F and Z of content. So this is the main understanding of eye movement. So if you are, researching on the various aspects of UX, you will understand that there are hot and cold zones in every document, in every website. So based on that, I have just picked two of them, and that is the F mode of reading and Z mode of reading. So what does this mean? It means your eye will be, so the top left corner is your hotspot. Okay, it is the hottest zone on your document. So you will see that most of the logos are kept at the top left corner, and it will be clickable in a way that it will take you to their homepage, right? So that is the hottest part on the page as far as eye movement is concerned. And then the eye movement can go like this, and it goes down. So that is how we scan unconsciously. And this is for left to right readers. I'm not talking about Arabic or the language used in Hebrew. Yeah, Hebrew, they are from right to left. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about plain and simple English language. So this is how our eye goes. And therefore, how you are keeping your content on your document will matter a lot. And then the other eye movement is again, it starts from the left towards the right, and it scans the whole page and then again moves towards the right. Now, when does this happen? When we are looking at the home page of any website. This is more, the F pattern is seen more in case of documents, but the Z pattern is observed more in case of websites, especially home pages, right? And then another, concept of UX is luminosity. And all of you need to also understand that whatever I am saying now with respect to white space, with respect to the eye movement, all these things also matter as far as accessibility is concerned. So if you need to know more about accessibility, perhaps somebody can take a session on that alone, the WCAG guidelines and how to follow it, because we had such a session in Salesforce, and that's how I became very aware of how to make the user experience accessible as well. So what is luminosity? Luminosity is a measurement of contrast. And how will you measure it? How would you know? you won't be able to, get the exact numbers just by looking at it. You can go to color.adobe.com, and they have a tool to measure the luminosity. So you can try it out. So why I have written 4.5:1 is because the blue color that you see in the background and the foreground, so it is the contrast. So the back color is 1, and the front color, the color for the font, is 4.5. So this particular luminosity is perfect for easy reading. Whereas this, look at this luminosity, it is 1.2. So the font is only 1.2 and the background is 1. So the difference is very low. So, and therefore it will be difficult to read any font that has this kind of luminosity, right? Now let us understand, we know nowadays most of the apps have the light mode and dark mode, right? So the light mode puts strains on the eyes at night. So while during the daytime, it might not appear to be making a whole lot of difference, but at night, especially in your mobile screens, on your tabs, on any handheld devices, it makes a lot of difference that the white light is very harmful for the eyes. Whereas the dark mode is easier for the eyes. Now, having said this, the color black has different impacts in different cultures. Okay, so there is a cultural effect here also. So in many cultures, black is seen as a very unlucky color, or color that induces depression. And even in because I'm an art therapist, I know that too much of exposure to black, especially if you are prone to depression, then it can have a negative effect. So while dark screens are very easy to read, you might want to switch it once in a while and not be fixated on dark screens all the time. But it is totally up to you, because most of the terminals are dark. So it is really up to the user, but this, you need to have the understanding of color. So this particular screen is not like I'm advocating for white background, or I'm advocating for the black background. No, it is more about the effect of color on our mind, and the effect of color on our eyes. It is just awareness for that. Now let us understand the placement of images. Now we usually put lot of images in our documents, unless as a style guide rule, you're not allowed to do so, because in many organizations it becomes very hectic to keep updating these screenshots, right? So many organizations do not encourage usage of screenshots in their documentation, but then they would be okay to use any kind of graphics. So this is more about that, any kind of media that you are putting, how you can put. So if your text is placed above the image, you have to inspect whether the user needs to read the text to understand the image. Where do you think this is possible? Suppose the image is showing some kind of some kind of detailed information about a very complex object. For example, say a bot and its parts, right? It would be good to read and then understand, okay, I read about this part. So they can look at the image and understand, okay, this is how the part looks like, right? On the other hand, if we are looking at a workflow, how a operator is going to operate in a pick-put scenario. So what they need to do first, and then what will be their last step. So it will be good to understand that workflow and then read the explanation about it below it, right? So you would have to understand the context and then place the image, whether it is going to be above the text or below the text. Do not follow a fixated pattern that I will always put the image under the text, or I'll always put the image above the text. Please understand what that image, the purpose of the image. Now this brings us to the last slide of this presentation. So this is the text view here, and we all use it a lot, right? The alt text. So when we are putting the alt, we all put alt text in our images, don't we? Because it is one of the primary guidelines for accessibility. So those who are visually impaired and they need to use a screen reader, so this is how they get to understand what the image is all about. But how well are we writing that alt text? That also makes a difference. Just putting an alt text, if it is the image of an apple, okay, and apple is too simple of example. Let us say it is the image of a particular screen where there are a couple of buttons, and you are only saying, okay, this screen is for the pick operation. It does not help the user at all. So instead of that, you can try to use this particular format: what, why, how, what the image is about, what action is shown by the image, where the user needs to click. For example, screen displaying inbound orders with a generate report button to generate an order report. So when you have an alt text like that, the screen reader will be able to give the correct information to the user. So that brings us to the end of this uh, presentation, and I'll just take up Nibu's question here. Will you also be touching a little more about measuring the impact of documentation and the improvements made? So this one, Nibu, I just, I don't think I have included that. If you do not have much access to your user, what are some ways to validate changes made to your support site? In this case, Nibu, I'm always dependent heavily on the UX designers and on the product managers. If I do, and there is no if, I do not have access to the users. So whatever I did is based on, the roundabout way of getting user feedback. Now that we have customer portal, we get direct feedback from the users, and they're absolutely loving our customer portal because this is the first time they're getting access to all our user manuals in online format without having to go through the support, because all these years they had to reach out to the support and then support will hand over them the manuals. But now we have changed the narrative. So, Balu, I read your question as what went into the docs in the backend to make possible customer-centric dashboard. So, we use this tool called Click Help, and in Click Help, we had to do a lot of, information strategy, content strategy, and information architecture in a way that we can reuse content, although we are catering to each and every customer. But there is a lot of, for example, I'll just give you a very plain example. Okay, we have 5 different permutation combination of bots that we give to our users. So one is called the RTP. So there are 5 users who use RTP solutions. So when I'm designing a portal for RTP, I can reuse that structure for all the 5 users because there is no difference. So this is what we understood, that we have to categorize into the solutions, because solutions, when I say solutions, these are like permutation combination of various types of bots we have. So we grouped the customers as per these solutions so that we can reuse content, and it does not have to be like for 50 customers we have to give 50 different types of information. Okay. Aman says, Aman is asking, what role does feedback play in CX? What are guidelines for gathering feedback? So here, Aman, I would like to tell you that because we are talking about customer experience, we have a group called customer experience, and they will not only gather feedback about the doc portal, but also about the solutions. So doc portal is one of the criteria in their long list of questions that they ask their customers after the implementation is done, after the training is given, and they keep doing it at regular intervals, and therefore it is from them that we get the information. So if you are talking about the guidelines, then we are not following that from our end, from the documentation perspective. But yes, we do tell the customer experience team that we need feedback on mainly the layout. How easy is it for the customers to find the information? How easily they can use the information? So these are some of the critical questions that we need answer for. So we tell the CX team to get the answers to these questions. Regarding the CX metrics, how can we capture the metrics such as TTR? Is it through offline surveys? Yes, Kumara Guru. It is through offline surveys, because when we are, giving online portal to them, we also give them an opportunity to give feedback to that portal. So whenever they give a thumbs down, it triggers a small window on the screen that will have them write down that what are the issues they are facing. So yes, we do it like, and we don't use Google Analytics or product usage, but what we do is in ClickHelp, they have brilliant analytics system. So we don't have to rely on anything that is external. We get each and every, we even get analytics on what keywords were used to find information. We get information on how much time a user spent on a particular document. We get information on various other user behaviors also. It is all inbuilt into ClickHelp, and if I feel that I need more reports, then I just write to the support team and they give us that. Balu, is the content single sourced and customer specific dashboard later? Yes, you're absolutely right, Balu. So customer dashboard, it is like this. So we have lot of Lego pieces. Sorry. We have a lot, just think like this. We have a lot of Lego pieces, right? Now a particular customer needs a specific configuration of this Lego. So we take these pieces, put them together and give it to the customer. But again, as I told in the beginning, it is more solution specific. So we sell the same solution to 5-6 customers, then all those 5-6 customers will get information related to that solution. But yes, to give them an enhanced customer experience, we do put their logo so that they feel, okay, this is my website, only I get to see this. So that confidence is there, because in the warehouse automation world, these different companies, they are like competing with each other, and we don't want one one customer to get to know what the other customer is doing or how they are using the product and all that. So that's why this customer specific portal was designed by me. Use of images entirely a convenience decision for us, but like one of my managers used to say, when it's a bug. Okay, let me read it nicely because it has come from Nivu. Use of images entirely a convenience decision for us. That is what fits. Translation becomes a bummer, but like one of my managers used to say, when it's a bug, try to position it like a feature. So for our German articles, we only translate the text. The English screenshot is a feature. Considered with just having text, it's quickly appreciated. But as a reader, I have found that screenshots are always appreciated, especially by non-tech savvy users. Many of our decisions are based on what's. Deepu, don't you think you could have just said it unmuted? You also had said it. Many of our decisions are based on what's easy to do for us, while they should be about what is useful for the end user. Absolutely. The argument that the user is already looking at the screen doesn't hold much water. Information is consumed at least 30% faster. It's also retained for a longer period of time. Somebody please give Nibu a session on DAP. I think it will be a great one. Do a A/B test and check. You will see. Again, this depends on the audience. Yeah. Nibu, I know, and you also know that I agree with whatever you have said. And yes, absolutely. At Grey Orange also, we do not translate the text on the screenshot. But yes, we have to get the other stuff translated, but there is a caveat there. Our hardware documentation, whatever illustrations are used will never have text. It will only have annotation. So it will only have numbers on them. And the description of the numbers, the labeling of the numbers is done in text below the illustration so that that text can be translated. How do you arrive at persona type in release notes, and how you differentiate it from a user role? So persona type is very important in release note for one reason, because we have different types of products used by different kind of personas. For example, there is manager dashboard that is supposed to be catering only to the warehouse managers and supervisors, whereas there is something called Grey Orange operator interface that is used by the operators. So we write the persona there. Have you come across situation where business goals had to be prioritized over CX UX design principles? So this situation, Akash, this situation has not arisen for us right, as of now, but I won't be surprised if it happens in the future. But as of now, no, we have designed our website on our own. So please understand this, that right from the login screen to everything you saw when I demoed the Grey Orange website, everything end to end was done by me and my team. So there was no help coming in from the engineering team, because we are a startup and everything had to be done by us. So we had a lot of creative freedom that many writers might not have. And that's why I am stressing on the fact that on this part, that maybe you do not have freedom to design your doc portal, but you can always decide how to put your headings, where to put bullets, where to put tables. Now you can call it information chunking. I call it as user experience, because that is, you saw the research paper, right? But you are actually making your document more user friendly and giving a better user experience. Do you consider content design during information architecture? Yes, without considering content design, I don't think I'll be able to give make a successful output of in my information architecture. Okay. If I have missed any questions, please unmute and ask.
We are good. I
Yeah,
guess we are good.
Mridula, can you hear me?
Yes, Nibu.
Yeah. So, have you done any exercises in measuring, what is the user experience on the product and comparing it to the user experience on the support site?
No, I have not done that. But user experience at Grey Orange level, at an organization level, it is done. But from my team, we have not done. Our information comes directly from ClickHelp. That is how I get to know which document is being accessed, which document is not being accessed. So that kind of information I get. But when you are talking about the user experience level at a product level, no. But Nibu, I have to tell you, when we had WalkMe, that used to be there, but ever since we got rid of WalkMe, we don't have that visibility. I hope someday we will get WhatFix.
Yeah, beyond that, it is what I was trying to get to was like ClickHelp, right? That's what you use. So ClickHelp
Yes.
tells you how much of content has been consumed, right? But
Correct.
can you relate it to as many tasks that were performed on the product? So if an article is about, let's say, how to set up a warehouse, I don't know, I'm guessing some kind of, and it was consumed like 100 times, 100 unique views, right? Is there a way to track actual usage on your product and say, okay, 100 people have come from support and therefore able to create 100 tasks?
I don't think so. No, that can be only measured through survey. This one, the task-based measurement cannot be done through ClickHelp. Like ready-made out-of-the-box solution is not there for that, Nibu.
Okay.
Okay, I guess in the interest of time, we can take further questions offline. Hope that's okay. So thank you for an informative session on the UX role in TechDocs, Mridula. I guess it's definitely sure. I guess it's definitely beneficial for technical writers who are transitioning from content creators to playing a role in UX designing. So thanks again. So I have pasted a link on chat. Request everyone to provide your feedback for the session. That will help us organize the future sessions for MTD. And also just a gentle reminder again to register to the STC India Leadership Summit on November 15th, like I initially mentioned. And I've already pasted the link in the chat as well. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining us today, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a nice day.
Good day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.